Hello everyone, good morning. I hope you're well. Welcome to Carnation Crafts TV. I'm Dave Bradford. Lovely Laura is here. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? You all right?
Good, yeah?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. And we are here to launch a brand new collection. We do this once a month here at Carnation, and I can honestly say that already loads of you have got this new collection in your basket and you've checked out, because a quarter of the entire stock of this collection has already gone. What are we talking about? We're talking about kind of homegrown.
Yeah, it's like
Allotments,
allotments,
growing
gardening.
flowers.
It's such, for me, as soon as I seen it, I was like, it's so cute. It's really warm and homely.
Yeah.
It's such a lovely collection.
It's called Fruits of Labour, and it's so affordable and it's beautiful, as you'd expect from Carnation Crafts. Now, for those of you that are brand new to us and you've never ordered before, the way it works is you buy the deal from us, and this is brand new, exclusive to us at Carnation at the moment. You can't find it anywhere else for now. You buy the dies, and then we give you the artwork free. That's the way it works. And the way you do it is you buy it from us on our website right now. It will be dispatched straight away. And then, of course, once you've bought the collection, you can go to our website to the download section and then print off all the artwork, because Carnation give you the artwork free. So rather than you having to colour in all the flowers, all the vegetables, all the houses and that sort of thing, and the gnome is in there as well, you basically print off the artwork, and then when your dies arrive in the next day or two, you can then cut the artwork out and start to build your creations. Let's have a little look. The mainstay of any collection is obviously the card shape itself. And this is the layered easel card shape. It's absolutely gorgeous. It works obviously landscape and portrait. And you've got all these wonderful layers, and this is basically an easel card, which I know so many of you love to make. Easel cards are great, aren't they?
Yeah, and there's so many uses for this as well. When you've just cut it out, it looks like a beautiful frame. And the artwork, the actual detail in the die that comes in that frame, it works perfectly with this collection, but you could use that for Christmas cards, for Valentine's cards. You'll use that all year round. So that's going to be like a staple one that you will use all year round.
And all the decorative detail you can see all the way around the edge there, those are little cut lines that cut into the card. I don't know if you can see the easel that's in front of me just here on the counter. There is so much detail in there. It's absolutely phenomenal. You don't need to colour it, although if you want to, you can. But if I just tilt this up to the camera so you can see, every millimetre you've got an etched detail inside there. It's absolutely exquisite. So whether you're using them as frames, whether you're using them as easels, I mean, that's the base card shape. And then from that, the next in size, you go to these two characters. Now, they could be both male, both female, but I think they're supposed to be husband and wife, or best friends or whatever, allotment buddies. But you can see that they are absolutely swamped with flowers and produce. They're off to the local farmer's market to sell their wares, that sort of thing. But you can see that this is supposed to be the lady, that's supposed to be the guy, but they don't have to be male and female. You've then got the decoupage elements which you can add onto the top, so you can make them three-dimensional if you want to. And then what do you need an allotment? Well, you need somewhere to sit down and have a bit of a brew. You need the picket fence, you need the bucket of water, you need the watering can, you need the cap. You've got all those accessories you can see there as well. Now, a Carnation launch would not be a Carnation launch without a character or two. You've got the cutest red squirrels. They're there making sure that the allotment owners are doing their job right.
They are. They're so cute. Look at him with his little spade there, ready to go. You've got the other one there, sat on the rock. He's in a pose, so it looks as if he's pulling something up. So he could be pulling the flowers up, or he's getting up to mischief.
Yep.
So you've got the adorable characters, and they're sized perfectly as well. So they will just fit into all of these scene building elements that we're going to show you next.
And then further down, the next level, we've then got the trug. Does they call them trugs? Is that right?
Trug?
Trug. That's what you kind of plant things in, trugs.
Oh, I've never heard that.
It could be a window box. You've got your ground obviously there as well, with the wonderful layers of flowers. I'll just move this out a little bit so you can see. There we go. Beautiful arrangement of flowers. Then you've got your buildings. Now, they could be garden sheds. They could be the little cottage. Maybe that's the allotment owner or the person that oversees the allotment. Then you've got a cute little gnome. Now, whether he's a stone gnome or whether he's a real gnome, that's
so
for you
cute
to decide. He's so cute.
He is so cute.
And then you've got a little bird kind of coming along to make sure everything's okay as well. So it's a lovely collection. It really is a lovely collection. It's $99.99, so under that magic £100 mark. It's free UK P&P if you're ordering this in the UK. If you're ordering it in the USA, of course, you can still purchase, and lots of you in America are ordering from us as well. But that's the entire collection. I mean, you would pay 50, 60 pounds, I'm sure, for that card shape on its own, with all the detail that's in there. So to get this for under 100 is fantastic. It's 250701. It's brand new. You're the first people to get to see it live. This is our first launch TV show. So if you would like to order it, the way it works at Carnation is myself and Laura are here. The warehouse is behind us, so if you purchase this right now at just after 10 a.m., the order goes straight through to the guys in the office behind us that way. They will process your order, and they'll then pack it and pick it and post it. It will be in the post by 2 o'clock this afternoon, so you might even get it tomorrow. So that's the main collection. It's called Fruits of Labour. If you would like it, order it now. Order it on the website, which is carnationcrafts.co.uk. And while you're there, after you've purchased the dies, just go to the download section and then print off all the artwork, and your dies will be with you shortly. Now, also, we always give you a few other options in the show as well. Now, this is just off the charts. When I saw this, I thought instantly fairy doors.
Yeah.
Have you got any fairy doors in your house?
No.
You should have.
I don't.
Yeah, you should have on the skirting boards. That's where they live, behind the skirting boards.
Yeah.
Well, here you've got the doors in the middle of these dies. You've got the beautiful pears frame. You've got the plump peaches frame, and you've then also got the fruitful figs frame as well. Now, whether you want them to be fairy doors or not is entirely up to you. You've got a multitude of dies here, and you can see in the cards in front of us here the way that you can use these. There are multiple dies in each set, but the doors have been worked in such a way that they actually open. So if you want to have something behind that door, a character, a bouquet of flowers, a message, a secret message or whatever it might be, you can do that. But these are beautiful, they're ornate, and you get lots of layering dies with them as well, as you always do with Carnation. This is $69.99, and it's 250709, your item number. 250709 if you would like those. They are $69.99 for all three of them, not each, but all three. So that's really good value, about £23.33 each, which is really good value for money. And the difference they'll make, and they work beautifully with this collection, which a lot of you have realised, and a lot of you are going for both of them. It's up to you. You can go for either or both. 250709. And just a quick word before we go over to look at the boards with Laura. The perfect papers are cardstock. They're always cardstock, and they've been printed in the colourways that coordinate with the artwork. Okay. So obviously with any card that you're making, you want a card blank. These are the perfect cards to invest in to get the perfect tone of colour. And you've got a total of 48 A4 sheets in there, 300 GSM, and this is only £14.99. And of course, if you add that into your order, that will be free P&P as well if you're ordering it with the main collection. If you're watching in the USA, your P&P for the main collection is £5.95, which I think you'll agree is really exceptional. And if you're ordering the perfect papers as well, then the P&P goes up to £14.95, but that's it. That's all you pay, and we'll get it across to you in the USA ASAP. All right, Laura, you've got the boards to show us all the intricacies of what you're going to get.
Yeah, so we'll start off with the layered easel card shape. This is such a lovely one. Like Dave showed you, the detail that you have in that frame, you can easily use this just as a frame card on its own. We've got some of the samples where it's just been used, like I've got this one here, where you can see just that smaller frame in the centre has been used for the actual card base, which just looks so lovely. So again, it's going to be multiple use. You've got your almost like tabs here that you're going to put on the front to give you that decoupage look, to make those scene building elements come to the front. You've got your mats and layers there, you've got your centerpieces, and you've got your back there to make the easel. But you've got so many different ways of using that. You will use all year round. Then around the allotment, so like Dave said, you've got all of those elements there to build up your scene. You've got that fence there that you can add on, so you can make that as long or as short as you wanted to. You've got your garden chairs there, you could bring in multiples of those if you wanted to, and you've got all the elements there you can build in. So you could be using this just as a bucket next to the plants, you could be adding some flowers into there, same with the basket and the pot, add the flowers into them and build them up if you want to.
And that fence you can make as long as you like.
Yes, you can keep adding those on, yeah.
I love this.
Yeah, a small token with the decoupage in as well. There's so much in there. They are so incredibly detailed. You've got the lady there with that huge bouquet of flowers. Then you're going to add these in, which equally you could use on their own. And then you've got this one here that could be the lady or the gentleman walking there with, look, he's got the crates there with this fruit in. You've got florals in here. And then you've got these, which again, you could use on their own. Or obviously you can add those in. But look how detailed they are. They're really nice size as well. They can definitely add the focal points when you add these onto your cards. Then we've got homegrown. These to me, I think I've used all of the time. This is just your perfect grounding element with these. You can slot these in absolutely anywhere and they just work. They're going to just build that scene effortlessly.
And you can multiple cut them and layer them and put them behind each other to create a really...
these ones I would 100% say cut them, print them out in the mirrored vignettes. So you can turn these around, so you've got them going in different directions, you've got the florals going different ways, and it's just going to elevate it so much. Then we've got home and garden. I love that. Do you know what that made me think of as well? Like if you cut those bits off, so you've just had them, it made me think of like beach huts.
A beach hut, yeah,
so you could use them in that way
shed,
as well.
Beach hut,
There's so many different ways you could use it. You know, they're perfect to go in the background. Again, this one, you know, imagine adding bits of white on there. You could make it more of that snowy background scene as well. So you can really mix and match that one up.
Then the gnome.
Yeah, the local community. I love him. I think he's so adorable.
Do you reckon he's a stone gnome or a real gnome?
No, I think he's a real gnome.
I thought
Yeah, definitely a real gnome. And I love this post as well that you've got there with the bird on top. That will just fit in anywhere at all. You could add this in. You could add that into that post as well. I've got one here. You could just add that in.
Yeah, that works.
Behind it, and they just work so well. So you could make that in the centre and just add that post along there as well.
And also proportion is important. They've got the proportion right too.
And that's what Carnation do so well. They look at everything for us to build in those scenes. Like everything's got movement, everything's got flow. So nothing looks as if it's just stuck next to something or on top of something. Everything works together really well. Then you've got your signs here. Now I've been using these in so many different ways. Obviously I'll show you when I demo, but lots of different ways to use them. And you've got your mushrooms there to build those scenes in as well.
Oh, the cutest red squirrel.
Yeah, so look at them. They are just so cute. Like you've got him there with his little spade. And again, they will just fit into anywhere. When you start putting the flowers and things next to them, you know, they are built in.
I think baby squirrels are called kids,
fit.
I think.
I
saw a report on the news this week that a couple of little red squirrels had been born and they were called kids. They were so cute.
I find it so strange, like how they name, you know, like groups of animals. Groups of animals have got different names. I find it so strange how they come up with the names of what they name them, but there we go. Right, so now we go on to our frames. Now these, I 100% think, even though they are named, like we said, you've got the plum, you've got the fruitful figs, you've got them named after fruits. These to me, you will use them all year round. When you look at the artwork there, you know, if you cut that out in red and gold, that would work for Christmas. And you could use that as like a Christmas door. It could be like Dave said, a fairy door. You could be doing these in glitter. There's so many different ways of using them.
Although Nick and the team, who are the designers and the artists behind the dies and the artwork, although they've been very faithful to like a fig leaf or whatever it might be, at the end of the day, it's just beautiful flourishes, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what it looks like to me. They just look, you've got that beautiful frame. Actually, do you know what? This one, Mark is going to love this, but when I seen this one, do you know what I seen in there?
Fleur de lis?
No.
No?
So that top, if I went like that, that looks like the 3 feathers, the symbol of Wales.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I must admit,
Bunny's
that's what
just like, no.
That's what I was looking at. But that made me think fleur de lis as well.
Yeah, they go. Yeah. So there's so many different. Yeah, it was just. Yeah. I would 100% cut that bit out if I was making like a rugby card.
My eye went to that straight away.
Yeah. So there's so many different ways that you use them and different colours as well. They're going to look completely different. You do have cut lines in that door as well. So if you just snip those little lines away, you can have the door so it opens if you wanted to. So you could have some characters behind it. If you've got some fairies, you could have the fairies behind it. You could do so many different things to them. And then you've got the circle as well. I love the like wood grain as well that you've got in there with that little window. in there too. They just look absolutely stunning.
Let me at this point say hello to a few of you that are watching. Linda McLeod says, morning, Laura, Dave and Bunny. Yes, Bunny's directing us next door and producing us as well. Hi to Bunny. Sorry, Linda says, we're struggling to make a card for a friend. Nothing seemed to fit. Seen this and light bulb moment. Bing. So ordered this morning and are now in the process of printing, ready for arrival. That's really good news, Linda. Absolutely. This is so appropriate for all sorts of occasions and also non-occasions. If you just want to send a card to someone just to say them, you know, you're thinking about them, whatever it might be, whether it's the card blanks that you can see here, the card shapes, or whether it's the main collection, they're going to really work for you really, really well. Loads more of you are watching on YouTube and also on Facebook as well. Jenny West is there. Morning, Laura, Dave and Bunny. Morning, Jenny. Great to know you're watching. Now, I've got some finished samples here. Now, as ever, the design team gets sent dies ahead of the launch, and they don't get the instructions or any packaging. So they just basically get the dies kind of naked, which they can then play with and come up with lots of ideas so that you can benefit from them. So if I put a few down here, this is Sue Dalrymple. Morning, Sue, if you're watching. Look at that. Just look how gorgeous that card is. Look at this one. I mean, she is totally laden with flowers. That's going to be a gift for probably her best friend, or maybe her sister, or her mother, or whatever it might be. You've also got the slightly graduated arches that you can see there as well. So if you on your allotment or in your garden you've got like an archway, they gradually get smaller, so it gives the impression of depth and dimension, which is really, really effective. And that's what I think Carnation do so well. Look at that one. Aren't they lovely? So bringing in the card shapes we've got for you as an extra. They work with this collection so well, which is why they're in the show. As an easel, there's another one, but a circular easel, which is a little bit different. Janine Dawson from the DT team has done that. Bringing in probably my favourite shape is the fig frame, because it's got that little kind of point at the top of it, which I really do like. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's got almost something kind of church-like feel about it, because it's got that kind of window-like or doorway-like feel.
And they'd be lovely to use as well, just with the matte layers in the back. So even if you didn't use the frame, maybe you just want that card shape, and you're going to use it for something completely different, and you don't want the framework with the door or the window in. They still work so well. But yeah, I love that one. I think it's something really different, isn't it, with that point
absolutely
on the top there.
This is going back to the main collection where you've got that rounded cornered rectangle. It works landscape and portrait. We've done it, of course, portrait in this instance, and Sue's made this one with that that character in the centre of it, just laden down with produce from the allotment and florals as well. Again, bringing in the card shape on this one. It's just beautiful. And maybe you're looking out of your window right now into your back garden, your courtyard, whatever you've got at home, and maybe you're seeing that little chair where you go and sit and read a book, or you sit and watch the flowers and watch the birds fly in and fly out of your garden. $99.99 for the main collection, The Fruits of Labour. It made me think of The Good Life. Do you remember the sitcom, The Good Life?
No.
Richard Bryars? No? Oh, you're young. It made me think of that, though, about that self-sufficient couple in Surbiton, I think it was, the sitcom in the 1970s. But all you've got here, you can make up lovely, lovely arrangements, lovely, lovely scenes with that gorgeous cottage in the background there, the picket fence as well, the bird just kind of perched on the corner. Really lovely, really kind of calming and relaxing images as well. But you've got all of the artwork free of charge as a gift from Carnation. That's what they always do. And that's why I think you love Carnation Craft so much, is because you buy the dies and you're not left up to your own devices to colour them in. You just basically, when you've bought the dies, go to the website, go to the download section, and then you've got all the vignettes there, as we call them, or the artwork that you can print off straight away. And there's artwork for everything. There's no artwork for the card blanks or the card shapes, but there's artwork for everything in the main collection today. And we've broken that £100 barrier, which is great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, demo time. How to use them. What are you going to do then, Laura?
Right, so I'm going to start off with the plum frame to start off with. Now, these, you get the matte layers to go in the back. So like I said, if you wanted to, you could absolutely use these just for your cards throughout the year. We've cut 2 of that larger mat out, and I've just scored 1 in half. So I'm just going to glue this top bit.
If you get the glue to work.
If I can get it to work. It is the right day. It's Monday.
Hey! Everyday glue on the website. There's 7 bottles for a really good price.
So I'm going to stick that on there. So I've got that outside mat, and you can see how big these are as well. They're really nice size. So if you want to use these for your car bases, it gives you just a really different base straight away. So your eye is instantly drawn into it. So you've got that there. Then we're going to go in with our next mat, which is one of our perfect papers. I adore the perfect papers in this set. You've got that daisy design and like the check gingham design in there, which just works so well with this.
Used to be plain block colours, but now there are subtle patterns that are printed on them, and it's like a plaid, isn't it? Like a plaid print.
It's so nice though, because sometimes, you know, if you get a pattern that's really bold, it almost draws your eye away from what you're doing at the front, but the patterns on them, they are really nice and subtle, so it brings the design into the car, but it doesn't draw your eye away from them. It works really well. And obviously the colours in there just coordinate perfectly with the artwork as well. So it just ticks all the boxes. So I'm going in with my next layer now. So you've got your 3 layers before we get to the frame. So you could leave that now and have that as your car base with your mats and layers, and you've got a really different shaped card there with your perfect mats and layers before you even do anything else. And then I've cut out the same layer now with the framework, so you can see how that will fit on there like that. And it just looks so lovely, doesn't it? So I've used the same, almost like a peachy cream colour from the perfect papers.
It's like coffee and cream, those colour combinations. It works really well. Vera Bow on YouTube says, morning Laura, Dave and Bunny, another stunning collection, got my order in, watching while recuperating from back surgery. Oh Vera, bless you. Vera's one of our design team as well, so I hope you're okay.
Get well soon.
Get well soon. Nothing worse than a bad back. I've got a bad back, but there's nothing worse than having back issues.
Back pain, yeah. It's almost like you can't get into a comfortable position, can you? Because it's your back. You know, it's like your leg. You can just leave your leg.
Oh, the worst.
Oh, yeah, toothache. I'm with you there. Ugh. Right, so I've popped that down. Now, what I've done is I've cut out, so from cutting these out, I had a bit of spare of this card. So I've just placed down enough cardstock that I'm going to cut out that door. So I've cut that out again. And then I've done the exact same thing with the craft card. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pop the craft card bit down. So I've cut the craft card out with the door, and then I've just snipped the door away. So I'm going to go in and pop this around the edge like that, and then you've got the window, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So go in and cut that.
I love the fact the door can open. What will be behind the door? Is it a door that you're looking into something, a door that you're looking out to something? Could be either.
Well, I think with you now, Dave, because you said about fairy door. So I'm going to assume you've got a fairy door in your house.
Oh, numerous fairy doors.
I can imagine like having them in the garden as well. Do you like buy like a greenhouse or something?
Well, years ago when I first started working in craft, someone said to me, "Oh, they live behind the skirting board," and I've always thought that ever since.
Yeah, I know I've seen them in the shops where you can buy little doors, and I'm sure I've seen them for the tooth fairy as well.
Yeah.
Like a tooth fairy door.
They're all related.
That they all
know each other. Yeah. So if you haven't got a door on the skirting board, they can't get out. They can't come in to leave you money for your tooth.
Oh, wow.
That's what we've got to tell the kids.
But that's the excuse, tell you. Is that why they don't come?
There's no door.
There's no door. They can't go.
Yeah.
You're not getting any money. Right, so I've popped that on there. So I've cut out that almost like outside frame and the window. And when I say cut out, you've got little cut lines in there anyway. So all you're doing is just cutting away those little hold lines. And then that'll leave you with that outside and the window. So now, even though that looks great like that, but when I pop that on there now...
I do love your colour combinations. I think that works a real treat.
That just pops now because you've got that frame almost around the door. So, and I love that. I think you could absolutely just pop a sentiment on there now.
That could be a new home card, couldn't it?
They could be for so many occasions, couldn't they? They're so lovely that you could mix and match these up.
Could be a new job, a door to a new career, that sort of thing.
In so many ways. Right, now I'm going to go in with the fence. So we're going to pop our fence first along there like that. So I'm going to just use some pin flare. So we'll just put some, I don't need this to stand up too much, but I'm going to use pin flare just to make sure that.
Now things like pin flare, everyday glue, all on the website. So if you are checking out your main offer, the main bundle, do have a little look around and see what else you might need. You might want pro print paper, which we suggest you print your artwork onto, your vignettes onto, to get the best results.
Yeah, definitely. I think everybody who's even sat on the fence about using pro print uses it. No, uses it, and then you realise, oh, actually, yes, I definitely need to be printed on there. It's 100%. It's the paper, not the printer, which I always used to think it was the printer, not the paper. Now you've got these pots.
Planters. Yeah.
So this is going to sit there. Now, before I stick that in, the plants that you've got along the bottom, which I said are amazing for your grounding elements. I've gone in and cut these, so now I've got that. So I cut one in half for another card, which obviously left me with that half. And I thought, oh, I'm going to cut that out. And then from cutting that out, if I just put a little bit of glue on the bottom of that, I can then bring that in there like that. So now I've got my little plant in the little bottom.
Love it.
So we've got that. So
this is what Carnation is so good at. They give you the elements that you can put them where you want them. Whether you want an empty pot, whether you want a full pot, it's entirely up to you to make up your mind. And they give you all the elements that fit perfectly to do just that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why, and what I always find is people say that they can build scenes and things more with carnation. Yeah. And, I think until I started looking at it and until Nick kind of explained his process of when he designs the images, but because everything is designed to a certain shape, so it doesn't matter what you bring in, you can just put whatever it is on there, and because everything's designed in size and everything has a flow, everything has movement, so nothing looks like it's just placed next to something. Everything looks like it's part of a scene. So you can't for me, you can't go wrong with carnation. It doesn't matter how much you put in, how little you put in, it's going to just flow perfectly.
And of course, all the Carnation Crafts collections you've bought from previous shows, so many elements from those collections will work with this collection, this will work with that. So, it's not a case of you only use these dyes with this collection because they will only work this way. You'll end up with a lovely kind of library of collections going forward that you can mix and match.
Yeah, you will. You can bring everything in, and that's the lovely thing as well, because it doesn't matter if you get one or two things, you're always adding to everything. So this is going to sit there like that. Mm-hmm. And then you've got the decoupage pieces for him then. So I'm going to bring these in. So we're going to add in some of these flowers. So that one's going to sit
Maybe
there.
You're sat there watching this thinking, that's like my carnation delivery. That's what my delivery guy walks up the driveway with like piles and piles and piles of parcels.
That's what he looks like. That would be such a lovely delivery though, wouldn't it?
Well, any carnation delivery is a lovely delivery.
Sit there like that. And then I'm going to bring in the bag. So you've got those elements in around the allotment. So I'm going to bring this in. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to just put some glue down one side of it. And I'm actually just going to hang it there like that, so it looks as if it's hanging on the chair. So I'm just going to tuck that there like that.
I'd love an allotment. I'm at that age now. I think an allotment would do me good.
Do you know, I think I would as well.
Grow your own, self-sufficient.
I'd like to. My grandfather, he had like a really big garden. So he would grow his own like runner beans, tomato. Like if ever I needed any fruit or veg, I could just go to his house and get, onions, potatoes, absolutely anything. And well, that's what I missed. Yeah. It tasted so different, and like nothing tastes the same now. It just tasted absolutely amazing. And so I always say, I'm like, oh, if I had the space in the garden just to grow my own
How cute
some
is that?
veg.
Now, obviously, Laura's using pin flare glue gel there in that syringe. That is going to give you dimension. It's going to dry rock solid after about 12 hours. If you just leave it overnight, that's normally fine. And it just brings your whole card to life. It brings the characters to the forefront.
Yeah, and especially as well when you're adding in different elements. So you've got different levels in there as well. Like if we went in with just foam, you know, you're almost pushing down whatever layer you've got behind it. You're almost pushing it down. Whereas with this, it'll keep that layer. And obviously, especially if you're giving something shape as well, you want that to hold in place for you. Now I've got someone special that I've just die cut out in the same perfect paper colorway, so it's sticking with that cream and the craft card. And then I'm just going to pop a little bit of pin flare on the back of here, and then we'll just stick that there like that.
I've said it before many times, but in my early days of working on craft TV, I couldn't get craft card. I thought, well, it just looks like packaging. It doesn't look very attractive. Now it's one of my favourite things. I love the kind of tones of craft card. Mix it with the cream from the Perfect Papers, and that's the sort of result you can get. Really beautiful. It's the Fruits of Labour collection, and if you are watching us on YouTube or indeed on Facebook, this is the launch show of the new collection for July 2025. First time you've got to see it. It's here today. It's the Fruits of Labour, and it's, although we say it's about allotments, it's also about florals. So it may not be that you're an allotment sort of person, grow your own sort of person. You've got the lady and the guy in the collection just here, laden down with either goodies or gifts for family members or friends. I mean, that's the allotment side of it, with all the trugs and the trays of vegetables and that sort of thing. And over here, you've got the floral side of things. But what Nick and the team and everyone at Carnation have done for you is they've given you extra layers and extra elements that you can, of course, print off and cut out with the dies as well, to make that three-dimensional. If I just grab one of the cards from the box, let me grab this one here. If you have a little look here, that lady carrying the florals has magically got dimension on the flowers. So you can see it's not just flat, it's got raised dimension to it. So it really makes it look realistic. So there's even 3D decoupage elements to that big bundle. I mean, have you ever received a bunch of flowers that big?
No, I don't think I've received one.
You wish
That's like half the size of hers, isn't it?
I know it is, yeah. It's absolutely, yeah. It's about 3 feet of flowers. So those are the two characters with the decoupage elements. Then, if you have a little look at the rest of what's on offer here, you're going to get your basket, you're going to get your cap, which could be on the top of the person, could be on top of the little squirrel if you want it to be. You've got your wall-mounted planter. You've got the bucket, the fence, which you can make as long as you want. It's been designed in such a way that you can easily extend it and make it longer. The archways there, they're really cool, giving you that element of depth to your design, and the little seat there too. The squirrels are just divine. I mean, any character in a Carnation collection is always a winner. The squirrels are lovely. Now, the card shape that you can see here, this is the layered easel. Now, it will work both ways, landscape and portrait. And the detail around the edge is phenomenal, but you've actually got quite a few dies in that collection. You've got the dies to make the step, the dies to make the stopper, and the dies, of course, to make the main collection. If I just hold this one up to the camera so you can see the sort of idea behind it. Isn't it lovely? And that easel just lends itself to the theme of this collection really, really well. Then you've got your planters. You've got your window box, or your trug, if you want to call it that. You've then got your displays. You've got the grounding elements there as well. You've then got the huts and the house. And over on the other side, you've then got your gnome and your signposts, onto which you can put any sentiment you wish. And of course, the little bird on the post is the icing on the cake. So all of this collection, it launched yesterday. 25% of it launched online yesterday. 25% of it went, since it's been available on our website, carnationcrafts.co.uk. $99.99 is your price, only for a limited time. Later in this week, it will go back up to what it should be. And if you're watching us in the UK, you've got free UK P&P. If you're watching us in the USA, it's $5.95 postage. If you go for the Perfect Papers or Pro Print, something that's quite weighty, your shipping and handling will be $14.95. And then Oh, 35% now of the stock. 35%, 10%'s gone in half an hour. We are busy for this, very busy for it. And don't forget the frames over here as well. We've got the 3 different designs. We've got your fruitful figs, you've got your plump peaches, and you've got your plentiful pears as well. Now what these are basically, not only card shapes and card blanks, you've got the mats and layer dies as you can see there as well, but in the middle of each one you've got different shaped doors. Now what those doors are there for, what they signify, what they stand for, if you want to cut them out as an aperture you could do that, but they're designed in such a way that they've got hinges, so you can actually have the door that opens out to an outside scene or a door that opens out to an inside scene. And you know, they're not just for this collection, they're going to work with so many other things as well that you want to use them for lots of other occasions throughout the year. 250709, they are £69.99, which I think you'll agree is amazing value, because that works out to about 23.33 per set. And if I turn just one of them round, you can see that there are lots of dies and a lot of metal in each of those for that price. And the door is actually attached in the centre, but if you wanted to snip it out with a craft knife, you could easily do that.
Yeah, you might even want to use just the door.
Yeah, true.
On its own, if you know, depends on what project you're doing. You might. Do you know when I'm looking at that one now? I don't know why, but now when I'm looking at it here, it makes me think of like a Hobbit door.
What? Yeah, absolutely.
For some reason.
Yeah, Hobbit house.
So, yeah, see, there's so many different ways, and I think different colourways, depending on what colour you cut those out, you're gonna be able to use them all year round.
Cool. Okay, we've got about 20 odd minutes left, so another demo. If that's
Yeah,
right.
so we're going to do the layered easel card shape for this one. So I am going to use actually the matte layers for this one to do the card. So I've cut out the outside matte for this, and I've scored one in half. So I think I'm gonna have to use the wrong day glue. I think it's running out.
What are you on now, Saturday?
I've jinxed it. I've been doing so good, Dave, using the right day glue.
And if you're thinking to yourself, each day is probably a different type of glue. No, it's all the same glue. It's just,
yeah.
It's
just
you get 7 bottles.
You've got 7 bottles, so you've got the days on there. But yeah, Bunny doesn't like it when I use the wrong day. So
I never know what day of the week it is, so you know.
I don't. And you know, last week, Dave, I was so confident and I was so happy with myself because I was like, Bunny, I've got the right day. I made sure I had the right day, and I had a Monday, but it was actually Wednesday. So I didn't even know what day it was. But I was so happy with myself that I'd done that. Right, so I'm going to go in with the next layer now. Now this green is such a lovely green. It's like a pastel, almost like a chalky green. Now this is from the Perfect Papers that come with the set. So we've cut the next layer out in that, which I think it's so lovely. Such a nice colour green. So we're going to pop that down. Do you need a battery, Dave?
No. Keeps cutting off, but it's fine. Oh yes, I do. Yeah.
You need a battery.
Yes, the battery's gone.
So we'll pop that on there, and then we're going to go in with the next layer then. So this is going to sit in there, and then I've got that lovely green layer next. So we're going to pop. Oh, Dave, you've run out of battery, and I've run out of foam tape. Have I got another one?
And it's the first show. Doesn't bode well, does it?
Oh, I don't. Bunny?
I'm going to recharge myself.
Could you grab me foam tape, please? Seeing as she's in here anyway, isn't it? Right, let's pop that down. So I'll just use the clean, simple one for a minute. Right, let's pop that there like that. So I've got that lovely green frame there. Now the next thing I've done, the next thing is the actual frame itself. Now, when I say about using this all year round, the actual design and the detail that you get on there, it's just such a lovely detailed design that you could use. You could cut that out in mirror card and make it look like an actual frame.
And you can see where the pips are. So if you want to release that centre in the middle, you can do that in a really easy way.
Yeah, and then you're going to be left with just the frame. So you could quite easily cut that out and have a different frame on top. But it is just a really nice detailed design on there that you can mix and match in. So you'll be able to use it in so many different ways.
It's great being here. You ask for things and they just appear.
It just comes. Right, so we're going to cut this.
Bunny, can I have a £50 note, please?
She can't hear
It's
you.
kind of that, yeah.
Right, let's glue this down. So I'll pop that on there. And then we've got that there as the background. So the next thing we're going to do then is that frame that I've cut out. So using that same green, that's going to give us that lovely frame design on there then. So before I stick this down, because I want some of the elements to be more at the front, so what I'm going to do is we're going to glue our florals to the frame like that. So that's going to stick on the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to pop.
That is what my house at the moment is missing. We moved house about 2 months ago, and we haven't got any flowers
Has it
in the
been
garden.
2 months
Yeah,
already?
yeah. We've got lovely grass in the back garden, but there's no flowers because we kind of moved mid-season.
Yeah.
After everyone had planted everything. That's what we need.
So that's your next adventure.
Something like
is
that in the garden would be lovely. Yeah.
flowers. I can't keep flowers, though.
Can't you?
I can't keep plants. No, I don't know what it is. I just can't. Cannot
I've
keep a
just bought
plant.
a plant for inside the house that's actually got a well in it. So you fill it up with water, and it drinks for itself for a month.
Okay.
So you can't overwater it, can't underwater it.
Oh,
it's
maybe
looking
I
lovely.
need something like that
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, they're a bit pricey, but so far it looks great.
Oh, maybe I'll have
Laura
to-
proof.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have to have a look at that. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like.
Well, it's probably like me because you're away from home.
Yeah, and then do I overwater it when I get back,
Probably,
or I
yeah.
don't know. Right, I'm gonna stick some tape on these. So this is gonna be raised up.
Mhm. And don't forget, we've got 3 shows today, so if you can join us for inspiration from Laura for all 3, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock. And again, tomorrow there's 3 shows as well with more inspiration from this collection. Perfect papers, they're available too for Fruits of Labour. We'll give you details of that in a minute.
Yeah, it's such a nice collection.
It's gorgeous. And whether it's fruit and veg that you're self-sufficient in, whether it's flowers that you grow or whatever, or maybe you live in a flat and you haven't got a garden, and I mean, this is like bringing the outside in, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and I love what I like about this is there's so many different ways you can look at it, because it could be just any occasion card, it could be a retirement, a birthday. You could use it for absolutely anything at all. Right, so before I stick that frame down now, I'm going to pop some of these elements in, but I'm just going to focus on obviously that centre part.
Okay.
So I'm going to bring in the fence, and I think I'm going to pop that over there, and then I'm just going to kind of position where I want these to be so I know where that's going to go. Yeah, so we'll go there. So we're going to stick this fence down, and we'll pop this down with some glue.
Any questions, by the way? Remember, you can message in on Facebook or indeed on YouTube. If you want to ask anything of Laura,
Anything at all.
anything at all. Even things not craft related. Any questions?
We'll just get the most bizarre question now.
Yeah, probably. That's fine.
Right, so I'm going to stick down this bird on that post, which I absolutely love. And I don't know why. I think as soon as I seen that, I instantly went to Christmas
Yeah.
in my head.
I was
I
thinking
don't
that
know
too.
why,
Yeah.
what it was, but I just went to Christmas as soon as I seen that. Now I'm
I
going
think
to
whenever
add
you
in
see like a
this.
bird on a post like that, you kind of get the feeling that someone that you knew is nearby, maybe.
Oh yeah, there's like a little. Oh, how does this?
Robin.
Whenever was it? When
Loved
Robins
ones
are
are
near,
near,
loved
when
ones are near,
yeah,
or something like that.
When a robin appears, loved ones are near.
That's it. Yeah. So now if I pop this there.
Look at the dimension in that.
So you've got that frame.
This is kind of taking me back to my childhood. When I lived in a flat with my mum and dad when I was really, really young, there was a field at the end of the driveway of the flat, and that was an allotment, and I had a little patch on that I used to grow things in. I remember that now.
Oh, that's nice.
Only a little patch. So I think someone gave me about a 5 foot square patch and just said, that's yours. Do with it what you want.
Oh, that's nice.
I wasn't very good at it.
I think it's a lot more popular now. I know my little girl in school, they grow their own fruit and veg and stuff in school, and then they have a little shop and they sell them in.
Yeah, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so you can go in at the end of the day or at the end of the week. I think they open it like twice a week, so you can go in and you can buy whatever they've been growing then.
It's a really nice idea.
In the week. And then you've got these signs. So this comes in the local community one. So you've got these, and you've got a post as well. Now, I've used these in so many different ways.
Are they able to be printed off?
Yeah, so this is printed off with the artwork. So you've got almost like that wood grain. And then I've just stamped one of my stamps from the Clean and Simple range into that.
Okay.
And then you've got the post as well. So I've used these in lots of different ways, because you can either use the post as a sign, which I've done in another demo that I'll get to show you, where I've actually stamped on this and then stuck it across like that.
Right.
So it's like that. Or you could stick this one onto there like that. So it's like a post with the sign on. Or you could use just that sticking into the ground and have a little sentiment on there. Or like this one, where I've just got this on its own. And I'm just going to use that on the top there like that, just like a little sign. So you've got lots of different ways that you can use that. So that is just going to go there. And then you've got almost like a little frame.
Love it.
Built in, but you can just build up so much. And if if I was doing that again, I'd probably put in 2 layers of foam in the frame and just really build up all of the different heights inside that frame. But they just work so well.
Well, it is the fruits of labour. That's the collection. It only launched live on TV about 50 minutes ago. I know yesterday it was available to purchase on the website, and I know loads of you have a little look at the website the evening before the official launch, and 25% went at launch last night on the website. Over 35% of the entire stock has gone now. And this is the main collection you're going to get for under £100, which doesn't always happen. You've got the lady and the guy laden with wonderful flowers and also things from the allotment. You've got all of the accessories, which you could of course tell a story with as well. The squirrels are there, the beautiful frames, and then further along you've got those wonderful flower arrangements in the window boxes, and the houses and the little sheds and the gnome and the beautiful bird on top of the post too. Now don't forget, in addition to that collection at $99.99, we've also got these, which are the amazing card die collections here. These are amazing card blanks you can make with these, different shapes, and they're named after different fruits. You've got the figs, you've got the peaches, and you've also got the pear frame as well. But the unique thing about these is not only have you got the beautiful foliage around the edge relating to the fruit, you've also got the door in the middle as well, which you can physically open, and they are $69.99. Now the perfect papers, if I just pop those there for a second, you can see that not only have you got colours that work with the artwork, the vignettes that you can print off straight away, you've also got some patterns on there. And some of them are slightly bolder than you're perhaps used to. You've got the plaid, and you've also got the beautiful floral or the daisy print on there as well. 48 papers. I say papers, they're of course 300 GSM, so it's very much cardstock, but you've got the colours that work with the artwork that you're printing off probably right now from carnationcrafts.co.uk. Got enough time, hopefully, for one more quick demo, Laura.
Yeah, right. So I am using the figs one for the next one. So what I'm doing for this one is I'm actually going to use the design as the actual card. So I've just stuck these 2 pieces of card together. So I've just got white cardstock and I've glued 2 together just to give it a bit more structure, and I've got 2 there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the top half together, and this is actually going to be then the card frame itself, card base. So that is just
so beautiful, isn't it?
And just like that in white, it just looks Christmassy to me. I think doing them in different colourways. I
shape
equally
of
think
it.
if you did that in oranges, it would work for autumn as well.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can just use it all
And the
year
shape
round.
of it makes you think of either a window or indeed a big Gothic doorway on a church or something like that, stately home.
Yeah, there's so many different ways. You could wedding, that would be perfect as a background. And then you could have a groom and a bride at the front for wedding cards, but they are so detailed. So we're going to pop that bit there. And then we're going to bring in our fence. So let's get some.
And that
glue.
fence die is going to be such a handy die to have.
Yeah.
And remember, all the artwork, in case you're new to carnation, you don't just buy the dies and they don't just leave you to it. They say if you buy the dies, then you're welcome to the artwork that works with the dies absolutely free. That's why you're always going to get a great result, because you're not having to colour everything in. I'm not saying that if you colour things in they don't look great. Of course they probably will do, but you've got the professional artwork done for you that you can reach for and use again and again and again, free of charge.
Yeah, and especially I'm always the type of person if I need to make a card, I need to make it yesterday.
Yeah.
So there's
Leave it to
nothing.
the last minute.
Yeah, so there's nothing worse than you think, you know, if I was making this card at home now, you know, I'd have to cut these out and I think, right, well, I need to colour in the post and I need to colour in the fence and I need to colour this in, I need to colour the flowers in, you know, and it does take a lot of time to go in and colour all these elements in, whereas now you can just print. And I think that's one of the nice things with carnation. It almost lets us be more creative, because we can spend more time actually just playing around with the composition of a card and adding in as much as we want, instead of kind of being restricted by our time of needing to go in and colour in each image.
Don't get me wrong, if you want to colour something, of course,
yeah,
go ahead and do it. You can
absolutely.
actually use the vignettes as a guide, and you can do it with your pencils, your paints, your pens, whatever you want to do.
So this one, you can see now I've used that post and I've stuck that sign on there. So that is going to be our sentiment now. Equally, you could have stamped onto that bit as well. So different ways of using that. So we're going to glue this, and that is just going to stick out there. So that looks as if it's coming out of the flowers.
And the amount of work that goes into the design, not only of the design of the dies, but also of the artwork as well, is insane. There's a lot of work goes into that, and you're gifted that. You're given that for nothing after you bought the dies.
Yeah, and the artwork is so incredibly detailed. Like I enjoy colouring in, and I will quite happily sit there and colour in, but I couldn't colour into this level of detail, especially like when you see like the small floral elements, and by the time you build everything up, like I could sit there and colour that in, but I wouldn't get it to that level of detail, and it would take me so long to do it as well. And
you can sell what you make, which is even better. Even
Yeah.
though, you know, Nick and the team, the artists behind all of this fantastic colouring and design, they say whatever you make with it, absolutely, you can sell it for personal profit, you can sell it for charity, you can do what you want.
Yeah, and I think that makes a lot of difference as well, because of the detail in the artwork, your cards just stand out, don't they, straight away. Right, we're going to bring in some more mushrooms. So I'm going to move this bit over a little bit. And then I'm going to pop this one there to balance out that red. So that is just going to go there. And then I'm going to pop him in as well.
I wonder how many of you are new crafters. We get new viewers all the time that stumble across carnation by accident or get told by friends. If you're new, you're coming in right at the top, because carnation holds your hand every step of the way. The dies do all the cutting for you, the vignettes do all the colouring for you, and then you tell the story, which is basically, at the end of the day, what a card is all about: telling a story, sending in wishes, and making the card relevant to the person you're making it for. Isn't that just gorgeous?
Do you know what we need, Dave? We need a name for our gnome.
Oh yeah.
We always ask for names. So me and Bunny have got into a thing. If ever we get a character or an animal, so we always ask for name suggestions.
Okay. Well, we've got squirrels, and we've got
2 squirrels, and we've got a gnome.
Have a think about it. We're back at 12 with our next show in an hour. So whatever you do, if you think about it, What name would you give the squirrels? What name would you give the gnome? Okay, we'd like to hear from you. Message in on Facebook or YouTube. Now we've got some more finished samples to have a little look at to show you. Look at this round one. I've just taken that one out. This is Janine Dawson of the design team who's done this one. And what she's done very cleverly is, I realised this when I put it together, you've actually got a little flap down the bottom that tucks into the base of that easel. Now, obviously, you've got with the main collection the layered easel rectangular with the rounded corners, but you can make the fig, the peaches, and also the pear die sets into easel frames as well, which is what Janine has done with this one. That's the round one, which is the pear. This one, you are the best of the bunch. This was done by Pam Simpson. Hi, Pam, one of the design team, regular name that we hear every week or every month. Look at that one. So just using the outline die as the card blank rather than using the decorative door and all of that, she just used the outside edge, and that works a treat. This is the frame that's actually in the main collection with all that. Can you see all the etched detail, all the indented detail around it? It's absolutely beautiful. And then just that laden down allotment owner or gardener with all the trays of goodies. So one of them is kind of fruit and veg and the other one's flowers, okay? And then what's the name of the squirrel? What's the name of the gnome? Pam Simpson's done that one. See, totally different looking cards because that's what carnation does.
And look, she's popped in some stamps of some little bees as well. So, you know, do think of like stamps that you've got at home.
Yeah, true.
And other elements that you can bring in. But I do think that this collection is one that you will just keep out. You'll use all year round for so many different occasions, and especially those card bases as well, those frames, because you will use those with so many other collections that you have already.
This is another one done by Sue Dalrymple this time. Look at that as an easel card. I love that shape. It's very kind of Taj Mahal-like, isn't it, with the point at the top?
It draws you in, doesn't it? It's something really different. Even just using that card shape with the mass and layers and not even bringing in that frame on its own, they work so well. Sue
now has actually given the impression of the entire shape of that card being like a garden shed, and that's the window into the shed or the door into the shed. That's where the gnome lives, obviously.
Obviously.
It's cool, isn't it? 250701. £99.99 is your price. This is the collection. It's under £100, which I think is amazing value. I mean, you pay £40 or £50 for that die set alone. You really, really would. So to get all of it for under £100 is fantastic. To have all the artwork, which you can print off right now. I mean, I'm impatient. I'm the most impatient person I know.
I press checkout and I want to hear the doorbell go straight away.
Exactly. Well, we can't do that. We can maybe get it to you tomorrow or the next day at tops, I would have thought. If you order it now, in between the shows, the pickers and packers next door in the warehouse will get your order in the post this afternoon. The postman picks it up at 2 o'clock here on launch day. Yeah. And then instantly go to your printer and print off all the artwork and just sit and look at it and just admire it. It's yours. It's your artwork to do with what you want now. Nick and the team gift it to you once you bought the dies. And then when your dies arrive, cut it all out, start creating and enjoy. We're going to be back in an hour with more demos with Laura. We're going to go for a cup of tea.
We will.
Okay, so get your order in and we'll see you back with an update and some more inspiration in about an hour at 12 o'clock. See you then.